Hi, I'm Kara Pogreba. Welcome to Bright Hope Creations. Today I'm watercoloring a sky at dusk. Dusk is the very end of twilight, and it's at this time that the fireworks begin. So I have stamped here on Bristol smooth cardstock, Purple Onion Designs, carnival background, and also fireworks. So on this mat, which is a glass mat, I put down distress ink and picked raspberry, wilted violet, chipped sapphire, and black soot. And I'm using a number 8 size watercolor brush. And I'm just beginning to put in my colors. And this is the bottom of the sky, so it's at the horizon. I know you can't really see the image very well yet, but you will. So this will be the part where the sun has gone down and the sky is that pink color. And I'm trying to be careful to go around the horizon images and also those little cars on the Ferris wheel. Because this is Bristol smooth cardstock, not watercolor paper, I don't want to get my paper too wet, so I'm not using the wet on wet technique. That would be if you put down some clear water onto the paper first and then came in with the watercolor. But in this case, I am just coming in with the watercolor. It's giving me a little bit more control. And there's a lot of little details in here, so that's one reason why I'm doing it. Also, like I said, I just don't want it to get too wet. I don't have this taped down or anything, so I don't want to warp the paper at all. And this paper seems to be taking it just fine, so just getting the rest. I wasn't sure how far over I was going to go on the image, but the fireworks are stamped at the upper right hand corner, so I will be cutting this down quite a bit, but just wanted to get all the way over because I just wasn't sure how I was going to trim it yet. So now I'm coming in with the wilted violet, and a lot of my pink has already dried because it took so long to get across there with all those little details, but I'm just gonna not worry about it, come back down with a little more picked raspberry mixed in with the wilted violet, and it blends in well enough. I'm not looking for this to have the smooth blend that you would find with blending in with ink, just regular ink blending with a blending brush or a foam blending tool. So I don't mind seeing the variations where one color dried and the other is layered over that. It's just part of the watercolor look that I've got going here. So on to Chipped Sapphire, and this is a dark color, but it's a little scary to start. But that's what the night sky looked like, so I didn't want to wimp out on that. So just going up the Ferris wheel and into the darker part of the sky. And I'm also not worried too much about getting a real blend between the pink to purple to dark blue, navy color, because I think that's kind of more the way the sky would look. One thing I didn't stamp on here, the carnival background has clouds in the sky with it, so I just selectively did not ink those up and instead put in the fireworks in the background. And those fireworks I stamped twice. There's 3 fireworks on the stamp, and so I stamped it twice in the sky, and I wasn't concerned about masking the image either because this is going to be seen through the different parts of the Ferris wheel, and also it's an opaque procedure when you put on the embossing powder, so it just all kind of goes together. So here I put on black soot, and I'm coming in to brighten it up with the Chip Sapphire, and got a little too much water on my paper, so I dabbed that off and came back in to darken that up where I dabbed, but getting those details around those cars, and I'm just going right over the fireworks because I'm not concerned about keeping those, the insides of those light. And the black and the Chip Sapphire together blended, and then the Chip Sapphire and the Wilted Violet together blended. And I'm dabbing off my brush as I clean it so that I don't have too much water on it as I'm moving from one color to another. I've never painted a dusk background before. I mean, I've done outer space ones, and those are so much fun. So this was kind of a new thing for me, and I just Googled different images of dusk or landscapes at dusk, and it's kind of how I came up with the colors to use. And it's a lot of fun. Different than a sunset. I guess I was interested in getting more of that dark night sky in there. And it's really a fun color combination. So just coming back in and blending those colors, darkening the colors now that they've dried a little bit, and just following up with some of the details, making sure I've got all the areas colored that needed it. And I'm gonna look at it straight to see it, and then dab off the white embossing where the ink was on top of it. And it just comes right off with a paper towel. And I will begin painting the images on the foreground, so the buildings and trees and everything on the horizon there. And I'm giving them a kind of a navy. Oh, I'm coming in there with a little more pink because it was pretty light. So that's in the background. But I'm coloring the buildings with kind of a navy, little bit of black soot in with it, but keeping them that look of dusk. You know, when you look out at the horizon on at the end of the evening, you'll see everything as though it was almost black. And I don't go so black here because I have this heat embossed in white, and I didn't think that would be good. I just thought coming in with kind of a navy color would give that illusion of the horizon at dusk. So I'm just finishing that out. And now when I put this together, I decided to make it into a shaker card. Since there were fireworks, I thought it would be fun to have sequins and beads in there that would shake, kind of giving it that look of fireworks, or just kind of that fun celebration look. And so I cut this down, and I put a panel over it that had a square window cut in it, and put foam taped on the back of that panel, and put in my beads and sequences and some acetate for the window, and laid it over this image. Then I came in with a sentiment, and I inked that up with some Catherine Pooler ink in Flirty Fuchsia and in Juniper Mist. And then I cut that out with the label die and backed it with some navy cardstock and put that on there, and that was how I completed the card. Now I'm coming in with my brush and just putting in the same navy colors into the cars of the Ferris wheel. Wasn't quite sure at first how I wanted to finish those up, but so I waited. It's always kind of what I do. If I'm not sure how I'm going to color what colors, I color everything else and then come back to it. So once I looked at this, I realized that they two would be the same kind of shadowy look as the horizon, buildings and trees and everything. So that's what I did to complete that. And I did them all the same. So I am not showing you all that, but I dabbed them off so that the white would be crisp and clear, and then this watercolor image is done. And here it is as the full card. You can see how I turned it into the shaker and put on the sentiment, and it's all set. I hope you enjoyed and will try a dusk background yourself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and have a great day.